this is one of the unique features of this particular property campaign. So we've had many property campaigns in China before that have led to big corrections, but we've never seen developers defaulting at this level, and certainly not the number that we've seen just in the span of the first few weeks of October here. What is really different this cycle is the fact that credit has turned negative to developers. And if you go back to past cycles, developers were actually still getting credit from financial institutions through the whole crackdown. And that enabled them to continue to make good on their obligations to bondholders, to suppliers, to contractors. But now that that credit has gone negative, negative credit means they need to repay banks. And so that represents a cash payout obligation that is really straining the liquidity positions. I don't think the authorities are looking to create a crisis of confidence across the entire developer sector, because 63% of all property sales in China are in the property market. So clearly that is not in their interest, but at the same time, I think they are willing to allow some of these players to try to work things out on market terms on their own, as long as confidence is holding up. And I know we've seen a lot of negative data coming out of the property sector, but I wouldn't say we're at a point yet where confidence in the primary market is collapsing.
Okay, so the property sector makes up between 25 to 30% of the Chinese economy. So with these issues that it has, what kind of downside pressure does it have on the Chinese economy?
It is already having downside pressure. So very interestingly, if you look back at previous cycles, it usually takes a few quarters before a real estate crackdown really starts to hit growth. This is already very severely hit growth in Q3, with the real estate component of services GDP contracting by 3.1%, and that compares with a positive 7.9% growth figure in Q2. And that really reflects the developer stress that we've got in the system at the moment. I do think authorities are worried about that, and I think that's why we've had the comments from regulators at the end of September, why we had statements from the PBOC on October 15th about banks trying to free up credit flow, because I think there is a recognition here that a lot of stress is being created across the system. And, as I said before, that could lead to a tipping point in terms of confidence if they don't get that under control.